EZNZ Podcast of 2018. It feels weird to think that we're, next week is Christmas.
Yeah, it's going to be funny not doing a podcast, because we've been so dedicated at trying to smash out a podcast. Even the weeks, I think there's been 1 or 2 weeks that we haven't smashed one out. And we still recorded a ton of footage in those weeks.
Absolutely. I would say we put together a bloopers reel, but I'd really rather not.
There's one video I'd love to see of.
So we're here for our final video in talking about our 12 items for Christmas. So we've covered 8 so far. That's good maths, right? We've covered 8 so far, and now we have our final 4 in our 12 days of Christmas. So we've picked some of our favourite devices, some of our favourite gifts that we'd both love to give or receive, and I'm going to kick into it and start us off. Sorry,
go for it.
I'm just doing all
Is it
talking.
the fact that you got taller this Christmas?
Yeah.
Is that the...
It is. Fletcher's slouching down in his chair given the room we're in.
Yeah.
But the first one I want to talk about is this beautiful little beast here, which is the Lenovo IdeaPad S130. This is the 11-inch model, and here in New Zealand it's coming in at $599.
Yeah, $599. That's the one. So a great entry-level price, and of course it's RRP, so I'm going to just say it. It'll go cheaper, obviously, with specials.
That's Fletcher's opinion. So obviously its price does vary market to market, but it is an awesome entry-level starting device.
Yeah.
It's 11.6 inch, it's super light at 1.44 kilos, it's super portable, and it's got amazing ports. For a device that costs $599 here in New Zealand, the fact that it has 2 full 3.0 USB ports, a micro SD card reader, a full HDMI slot, and a USB-C port,
pretty impressive.
I think that is pretty impressive. So it comes in a range of various configurations, but this particular one here has 4 gig of RAM and a 64 gig eMMC.
Hard drive, that's the one, exactly.
I don't usually talk specs, but I've had Fletcher already talk about it today, so off I go. So for an awesome kind of light portable device, whether this be, for your kid for school or something that you want to take travelling over your Christmas break, I think that this is an awesome device.
So fantastic. Did you say battery life? I'm sorry. 8
You're
hours battery life.
8 hours of battery life to keep you going on the go. And there are 2 other special and important things I do want to give a shout out to about this device. First one is that it comes with Windows 10 Home in S mode. So we've talked about the difference between the versions of Windows before. So Windows 10 Home in S mode is very much... what am I trying to say?
It's what you know and love.
It's what you know and love. Great.
You couldn't open it, open a computer and tell... I'm sorry, you couldn't open a device and just tell from looking at it.
Yeah,
if it was
great
in
point.
Home and 10 Home or 10 Home in S mode.
Yeah.
But...
So it's optimized for battery life, performance, and security. So what we mean by that is, as you know, Windows 10 in S mode does run apps from the Windows Store, so that means your Spotify, your Netflix,
YouTube,
Microsoft
iTunes.
Office, iTunes, all of those awesome things. So most of the stuff you already do, plus browsing the web, using it for Office, all of those kinds of things. So super nice and easy to use, whether you're using it for, as we said, school and stuff like that. But a huge bonus for those of you who will be getting this, for any device actually, to be fair. I was going to say just for school, but any device you may be able to see here. There's a sweet little sticker here. It comes with a whole year of Office 365 Personal for free included, which is very awesome. So of course with that you get the full Office suite as well as 60 Skype calling minutes to catch up with your friends overseas or your family overseas over the festive period, as well as a terabyte of OneDrive storage, so you can back up all of your holiday pictures, everything, send files, finish up your uni assignments, your school assignments, back up your old device to upgrade to your new device.
Take a photo here, see it there.
Yeah, absolutely. All of that awesome greatness and goodness. Something else I do want to shout out as well, actually. I'm just really going for this. This is a retail innovation that I'm very excited about. I've noticed with all of the new Lenovo devices shipping, I hope you can see, but there is a little QR code there. So if you're a little bit confused about what you are wanting to buy for Christmas, you want to know a little bit more, as we said, this guide does come in a few different configurations. So if you want to check out those while you're in store, you can scan that QR code. And that will bring up Lenovo's website to tell you more about the device and other devices similar to it. So that is, I think, great in retail innovation to help you guys with your choosing, whether it be a device for a loved one or for yourself.
Cool. I'm going to talk about one then. I'll talk about one. I'm going to talk about the brand new HP Spectre X360. Why? Because damn, I love this device.
It is beautiful. I won't lie to you, Fletch. That is one of the best looking devices I've seen this year. There, I said it.
So amazing. This one is Poseidon Blue.
Poseidon Blue.
We're
Not
gonna
just
get
blue,
close-ups.
Poseidon Blue.
Because this far doesn't do justice to the colour.
Absolutely.
I saw this in store before we got our hands on one, thanks to lovely HP for giving us one for a day. But damn, I was just like, I want it. It is so good looking. There's so much that I want to talk about with this device. I'm going to start off with that design because it is what you notice straight away.
Absolutely.
And HP are very, very... They put a lot of love into the design of their computers, and they're not afraid to push boundaries when it comes to it. They send their designers to home shows and all sorts everywhere around the world to pick up on the latest designs in your home, so that when you buy an HP computer, it matches what you have. And I think they've done a great job. If you can see from this far, they've actually cut the corner of the laptop off.
I'm so glad. If you didn't bring that up first, I was just going to chime in. Because I think that is hands down the coolest thing about this device, and like the real kind of change factor.
Shape. Yeah.
Absolutely. If you go to Kmart or anything like that, looking at all the hexagonal products, all of those kind of, the geometric shapes.
It's, it blows my mind. But they're functional as well. So you've actually got your charging port, your USB-C port here. It's Thunderbolt free, so you can use it for more than just charging.
Awesome.
And you've got your power button, which is fantastic. Because it's X360, obviously it flips right around, so you can use it as a tablet, as a laptop, as all those cool
and mode to watch your Netflix. And what's cool as well is obviously because the way it is designed, no matter what form you are in, you can still use those edge ports as well, which is very cool. I was trying to explain this device to someone and just how it looked. And I don't know, I just couldn't get the words in my head, so I just went like this, and instantly they knew what I was talking about. They're like, oh, the new HP. I was like, yes, exactly.
It's so
those awesome edges. Like, it's such a defining feature of this device.
Yeah, it's all about matching it. There's so much more. You can actually, we've talked about this a little bit. People who are afraid of their webcams being used to spy on them, there's actually a switch to turn off your webcam.
That's
so
very
you don't have to be paranoid about that anymore, which... That is amazing on its own. You've got Bang & Olufsen speakers yet again.
The Tone Meister.
They're on multiple sides, so as you do change your computer around, there's always a speaker pointing towards you, so you get that optimal sound. You've got an amazing keyboard. HP do such a great job at designing their keyboards.
Keyboard connoisseur Fletcher over here. He's very fussy.
So fussy. A nice wide touchpad. So I know... Back in the day, HP actually had pretty much were the only computer brand to have touchpads display.
I remember that. I remember when they came out real big, on an MV series about 5 years ago. It was honestly this large, and everyone was like, wow.
That's so amazing.
And it had, really encouraged those touch gestures, like your 4-finger swipe to go between your desktops on Windows, all of those kinds of things. So it's really nice to see, obviously, new design, but your old favourites in there as well.
100%. They've actually got both Windows Hello options as well, so fingerprint and camera. They've got great cooling. They actually learned lessons from the old device, and they put in even more fans. So not only do you have what they call their hyperbaric cooling, which is sucking cool air in and blowing hot air out, they've got an extra exhaust port on it, which is great. Their Wi-Fi is at the top, which HP make a big point about, because that means you're getting less dead space.
Right.
They do so many little things that make it so important when it comes to the actual functionality of the device.
What ports does she have?
It's got a USB 3.0, it's got a second USB-C, as well as a microphone port and a micro SD card. So absolutely fantastic. It's got a PCIe SSD, which specs-wise means it's got twice as many lanes as a normal SSD, which means extra fast. It's got quad-core processors. It's an absolute beast. But then there's more. There's more. Going into the little things, the charger is beautiful. It's got braided cords around the charging port. I know when I pulled this out, you're like, that literally was my reaction. We've all seen people, or done it ourselves, the people who have come into store to get a replacement because they've sucked it up the vacuum cleaner or something like that, and I haven't touched it yet, but that is very cool. That is very cool. Not only does it look nice, but it'll last longer. It'll last.
And it's designed.
It comes with an HP Active Stylus in the box, which we talked about on our first 12 Days of Christmas podcast. And last week we talked about sleeves. It comes with a nice pleather sleeve in the box. So you've straight away got your Active Stylus, you've got a beautiful machine, and you've got a great looking sleeve to chuck it in and look professional on. I honestly, I die over the Spectre every time they release a new one because it's just so beautiful.
See, and I think that's awesome. The full gift to give in one package. Obviously, you better really care about this person because it is, at that higher price point. But whether it be, someone you really care about, someone you're willing to splash out on, or just a YOLO treat yourself moment for the festive season, I think that this is hands down, I'm going to go out and say, my favourite design device of 2018.
The metal on this is so nice and shiny, it's actually reflecting the HP logo on the screen. That's why I just was like, what? It's so beautiful. What next from you though, Hannah? I know you've got a fave.
My fave, the Surface Laptop 2. So we had talked about this a lot on the podcast before. When we first got it in our hands, we got to unbox it, we got to show this off in black, not carbon black, as I originally told you. It's not carbon black, don't know how I got that in my head. But this is my favourite device. I've used a Surface Laptop since it first came out as my own personal device, and I have moved to a Laptop 2, and the black colour is just my favourite. I think that, as we can see from the devices that we have in front of us, colour's been a really important thing this year. I think being able to have something a little bit different,
personal.
Yeah, a little bit personal, being able to personalise my accessories to go with it, whether I be buying a pen and an Arc mouse, or my Precision mouse, which I recommended a couple of weeks ago. I think having those options is really awesome. We talked about, obviously the hexagonal design on the HP being its point of difference, and I can't talk about the Surface Laptop without shouting out that Alcantara fabric. That's obviously coolest point of difference with the Surface Laptop. So when I get up in the cold mornings and I roll over to just pick up my laptop, check my emails, or watch some Netflix, or put some music on for the day, feeling my hands on that rather than cold metal is super luxurious and really, really nice. My favourite shout out about the Surface Laptop 2 and the Surface Laptop originally was its omnisonic speakers. So that's a huge part of this beautiful, beautiful beast. Is the fact that you can't see any of its screws, you can't see any of its kind of internal guts being portrayed through this device. So you really just go from that awesome Alcantara fabric up into that beautiful touch screen. So the speakers for this are actually underneath, somewhere in here, and they're awesome. I'm very fussy when it comes to sound and what I like listening to, but I set it from day one when I got the first Surface Laptop, put that on full volume, put it in the middle of your lounge, and you get awesome sound out of it. Whether you be cleaning and getting ready or doing your Christmas cooking, wrapping presents, I think that this is a great device, and it's got 14.5 hours of battery life. So it kind of does the distance for the full day and then some. So very, very cool, and another favourite, as I said, whether it be a YOLO treat yourself, it's Christmas, or a gift for somebody really special, or a real investment for an education device, a work device, all of those kinds of things. I think that this beast is awesome and beautiful and wonderful, and it will forever be one of my favourite traditional clamshell design devices.
Absolutely. I get to talk about something else I love now. Something that we both love now.
We both love now.
You're a Fortnite fiend.
What this podcast is about to change my life.
We've got to give some love to Xbox consoles for Christmas. Leading up to Christmas, there's so many bundles out there. Speaking of Fortnite, there's a Fortnite bundle.
Awesome Fortnite bundle.
I think we've mentioned it before, but people are selling the DLCs for like $200 online because that's how crazy people are.
Almost getting your money back.
Yeah, about Fortnite. Yeah. But you can't talk about just one Xbox console and not the other.
Should we lay them down?
Yeah, so...
And I think that this is quite exciting to actually see them side by side. So this is the first ever time that Xbox has run a family of Xbox devices. So we have the Xbox One S and the Xbox One X. And we talk about the internal differences a lot, and I'll leave you to do that in a sec, Fletch. But look at them. Look at them side by side, and it's not just a black console or a white console. There are a lot of internal differences, but just the size difference for a more powerful console to be so much smaller, I think is super dope, and it's very exciting to to actually see them out together.
Absolutely, they look similar, so they like unify each other, but then they stand out. You know, they do stand out with that difference.
Absolutely.
So when it comes to Xbox, we've got the One S, which is really it's the value console, but it's the console that I kind of see for the family, because we do talk about it a lot as a media center, and not that the Xbox One X can't do that. It's just designed at more dedicated gamers, and we'll get into that soon. But you can watch your Netflix on here. You can listen to Spotify. You can actually access your OneDrive. TVNZ on demand. I use that a lot.
Cliffhanger, my goodness.
I don't have normal an aerial installed at home. I can't be bothered doing it. I've done enough of those in my time. So just having TVNZ on demand through this is super awesome. You can watch your Blu-rays. You can watch 4K Blu-rays. Through this. I think it's still might be the cheapest 4K Blu-ray player on the market, which is amazing. And of course you can play games on it. So you can play all your games, you can play your Game Pass, do all that grand stuff. But you know what? I'm going to talk about something that we haven't talked about when it comes to these. I'm going to talk about how smart the ports on an Xbox One S are. And how they're so obviously designed for both a media center and a gamer. So you've got your hard drives, because you can actually plug in, USB ports, so you can actually plug in hard drives. So you can use hard drives to expand the memory and download games. You can put, movies in, use that as like a media playing hard drive. You've got an IR out. What is that? It's so that you can plug in these little antennas, which let you transmit signals across rooms. So
that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yes,
thank you, Fletcher.
No worries. So that's the main reason for it. It's also what you could probably buy third-party remotes and plug something in the back, so that you can use a remote to change things on the Xbox itself. You've got your optical audio out, so you can plug this straight into your home theater systems, your sound bars, and get great sound out of it. Ethernet, of course, for that high-speed internet. But you've also got two HDMIs. So why do you have two HDMIs on an Xbox? You've got an HDMI out, so going to the TV. So if you wanted to plug in this into a TV, it'll just run straight through there. And you've got an HDMI in, so this can be for all sorts of stuff. It could be to plug in the satellite and cable boxes. It could be to plug in receivers as well, whether it's like a 4K upscale receiver or something like that. So it's all about making it so that it can interact with, similar to a digital optical out, so playing sound and stuff through there as well. So it just covers all your bases, right?
Absolutely.
It covers everything you could want to plug in, and it's even got a Kensington lock. So you can lock it down if you're using it to display something in stores, if you're using it to play stuff.
If you live in a flat with a bunch of other people.
Yeah, it's like...
that you don't trust, apparently.
It's got some really, really cool options on there. And then we've got the beast, the Xbox One X. So this is the only, and I can't stress this a point enough when I talk about it, the only 4K console on the market. We say that because Sony have a PS4 that they say has adaptive 4K. What does that mean? Doesn't have 4K. So I'm just going to shout that out, and we'll fire it straight off. So this is the only 4K console on the market. You can really tell the difference in picture quality. I've got a 4K TV at home, so I love that I can play my Madden NFL on 4K.
But I don't have a 4K TV, and I know that this is your favourite thing to talk about. So even though I'm still on a very small 32-inch old TV from about 6.5 years ago, I can still get the best out of my Xbox One.
Absolutely. It's like the Xbox One X will milk your TV for everything it's worth. The way it does it, it's got another fancy word that nobody actually knows what it means. It's called super sampling. What does it mean for everyone out there? It does a lot of cool magical technology stuff, which really ends up in smoothing out the pixels. So that when you're looking at full HD pictures, all the pixels are smoothed out, so it looks like it's like a smooth, beautiful picture running all the time. So it's going to get everything it can out. Much like a TV, a 4K TV will upscale full HD content. It's kind of like that in and an easy way to understand. It loads things faster because it is the most powerful console on the market as well.
Absolutely.
So I've told this story on our last podcast, but I'll tell it again because we love storytelling. But when I do play games, I used to always pull out my phone and loading screens.
Just check
to see what's happening in the NFL games and the rugby, anything like that. Now it just loads so fast that I don't really have time to get any decent, so there's no point pulling my phone out. And I know that sounds really small, but it's actually really cool.
Absolutely.
And it's really cool to see that progress in the console market. So this is a beast. It'll do everything that the Xbox One S can, but of course it comes with a bigger price. It'll do more when it comes to gaming. So if you're an enthusiast when it comes to gaming, this is the console for you.
Absolutely, and of course it is Christmas time of year, and we know that these fly out the door faster now than ever. So a few things, obviously we talked about bundles. There's a Fortnite bundle, there's a Forza Horizon 4 bundle, which also comes with Forza 7. There's all kinds of things out in the market at the moment, but I think the key point of difference with these guys is what you actually get in the box. So of course you get the console, you get the power cable, you get an HDMI cable, which is just super helpful, but you also get a month's worth of Game Pass, which is super exciting. And I think that is really, like, that would change my mind if I'm umming and ahhing about what it is that I want to get. That makes it the gift that keeps giving, you know. Not only have you got someone a game console, awesome, that's great, you also kind of feel obliged to get them a game as well. Maybe you've got one in the bundle. But, you know, wanting, you know, whether it be for the kids and you're not sure what they like, or the grandkids, or a friend, or a cousin, or an uncle, or whoever it may be, you don't know exactly what it is that they like, you don't know what it is that they may already have. So with a month of Game Pass in the box, that kind of gives them an introduction to over 100 games available on Xbox, whether it be AAA brand new titles like Forza Horizon 4, State of Decay 2, Sea of Thieves, all of those awesome things, or some super dope backwards compatible X360 games. Not only am I thrashing Fortnite at the moment, but the Lego Indiana Jones is also a personal fave. But it's just a super fun two-player game. I'm going home to spend time with my family over Christmas. I've got a 10-year-old niece that I've mentioned many times. She loves drawing on my Surface devices. That's number one, is Auntie Hannah, do you have your iPad? We're working on that one. But she draws me pictures, which is very nice. She's figured out how to save them, which is quite sweet, but I come back and get it off her with just all of these things. But I can, you know, pick up and play with her, or my brother over Christmas, or Graham and my brother do a bit of bonding there. But just a really cool opportunity to open up a world of different things through the power that is Xbox and the awesomeness which is Game Pass as well.
And you get a month of gold.
And a month of Xbox Live Gold, absolutely. So when you're playing Fortnite with your mates, you can chat to them.
Absolutely, and even more free games.
And even more free
games. You get free games in that month. You'll get a whole bunch of free games to go down. So, boom! Look at that value. That's amazing.
Awesome value. So many awesome consoles. It's great that we've got things to choose from. Just like with Windows, we've got an array of things to choose from as well. Different price points, different form factors, different things. I think that's us.
That's us.
Much talking, a lot of things, but those over the last 3 weeks have been our 12 things that we recommend to get either for yourself or for a loved one in the silly season. But thank you so much for joining us on the EZNZ Podcast so far this year. We will welcome in 2019 with a heap of questions of the week that we have saved up for you guys. But if there is anything else you'd like to know, please do leave it in the comments and we'll get back to you kind of mid-January.
Yeah, and Hannah will play Halo.
And I'll apparently play Halo, another thing that we've accidentally promised. But we'll miss you guys over the break, but have a very happy Christmas, festive season, whatever it is that you choose to celebrate. Have a great new year and we'll see you in 2019.